Alright, today we're going to talk about stripping varnish off of a new axe handle. I got this Prondy Scandinavian splitting axe here recently, and I'm going to show you guys best way to strip that varnish off. I'm not sure why companies put this varnish on here. I've heard that when these axes are in the store, if people handle them with dirty hands, it'll get stains on them, and they don't want that, so they put this slippery coating on an axe, which kind of seems stupid, but I'll show you guys how to remove that so you can get a grip on this axe instead of losing your grip. Alright, so the preferred method for me is to use a knife to scrape this off. You're going to want to be at an angle like this, drawing back. I could show you guys in a little bit once I get the tripod set up. I'm just using an old Moro knife. This thing's all rusty, like a $13 knife. I wouldn't recommend using a really expensive knife for this because it does kind of curl your edge a little bit, and you're going to have to do some edge work when you're done. But that's to be expected with any tool. Alright, let me get this tripod set up for you guys to see. Alright guys, looks like I got it set up for you. Now, some guys will use a vise. I don't have a vise here, so I just stuck this into a stump and that'll do. What you want to do is have the knife blade kind of at 90 degrees. You can drop the angle a little bit. You definitely don't want to go this way though. This will cause nicks in your handle. If you do make a mistake and make a little nick, you can kind of smooth out the nick by lowering the angle like this. But I'll show you guys right now. What we're looking for is we're starting all the way up at the head of the axe, and we're trying to get that curl. You can kind of see if you're getting varnish in wood. Right now this is getting some varnish for sure. And you just take your time. The angle is not necessarily 90, it's a little flatter than 90. And you just make your way. It's important that you start at the head and you make it pass all the way down the axe. You don't want to start halfway and start stripping because it'll create a little bit of a notch in your handle. And you can see where it's kind of shiny, where you still need to take the varnish off. Put these glasses back on. And you don't want to go too far over with your pass because you'll end up with some lines like that, and then you got to come back and try to remove the little bit of varnish that's left. Ooh, left a big mark there. Alright, so I am done with stripping the varnish off this axe handle. There's a couple of spots I could still get, like right in here. I don't know if you guys can see, but you can see it's a little bit shinier where the varnish hasn't been stripped yet. Anyway, this thing has a lot better grip though. Like already I can feel it's a lot better grip. One thing I want to mention is I did start out with a pretty sharp knife. That's important, just like any job. This technique is kind of, from what I hear, it's what they did before they had sandpaper. Sandpaper tends to get really gummed up, so I wouldn't recommend using sandpaper for this process, but grab an old knife. You could probably even do it with an old kitchen knife and try this out. It works really well.